Hello, everyone. Welcome back to one more exciting session for the day. This will be probably the last panel. Yes, this is going to be the last panel session for the day. Um, just to start off, let me start with my own story. I'm a foodie, and like most of you, as soon as the COVID started, I turned to cooking, baking, and of course, I was trying to show off my culinary skills. 3 months down the line, of course, now I made like some great food, but then my day of realization came, when my son looked at me and very innocently, he said, "Dad, you're looking like Hulk." And that was my moment of realization that, so COVID has definitely, put on a lot of, a few kgs of weight into me. So that's when, I turned to fitness, and then I realized, so that's what the world is doing right now. So everybody has turned to online fitness. So while COVID has disrupted our society, it has also created opportunities to improve our health by transforming exercise into a primary weapon to our fight against disease. Suddenly people have realized the importance of health, and that said, the fundamental paradigms have changed. Okay, fitness, like we know, or the activities that we know, have completely changed. There are no more group fitness sessions, no more gyms, no more outdoor activities. In all these influencer workouts, indoor workouts, influencers and the social media have taken mainstream. After lockdown, 99% of us will go back to normal life, but 1% will come back stronger. So in our efforts, so this is what I've been repeating throughout the day. This is going to be our theme. In all this, to all the fitness influencers, enthusiasts here is a session where we'll focus on how can each one of you aspiring to be a fitness influencer or a trainer, a successful online trainer, be part of that 1%. So with me, I have two very accomplished fitness panelists here. To start with, so Garima Bandari. She is an internationally acclaimed yoga coach, image and wellness advisor, and curator of brands. She is a Ashtanga yoga practitioner and mentor. Her exemplary work has earned her so many great recognitions, including the most influential women in the world, the Young Women Achiever Entrepreneur Award, and Beti Bachao Award by the Government of India. I welcome Garima Bandari. Garima, are you there? Hi, Garima. Good to have
Hi,
you.
good evening.
Hi. So our second panelist is Soumya Lohadia. I've known her personally for the last 1 year or so. She is a young and energetic women entrepreneur. More importantly, she is one of our first and one of the most successful creators. And I've personally seen her success as a fitness creator in the online space, how she has grown multifold in such a short period of time. And she is going to share some of her success mantras. So she started her health and fitness influencer journey right after her BTech and has been steadily growing her YouTube following. She has almost more than 650,000 YouTube followers, and she's also a certified Zumba instructor. So, knowing her, so I can tell you that she has ticked every box in making, in getting the business strategy right in online fitness segment. So, without much ado, let's welcome Soumya. Hi Soumya, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Hi, Soumya.
Hi. Hi, Garima.
Hi.
So, to all the audience who are here, so you can ask us questions during this time. So, I'll be asking a few questions, but we would like you to ask your questions and get more out of this session. So, this is going to be a 40 to 50 minute session, and we will try to get as many insights from these two ladies as possible. Okay, let me start by setting the tone here. So, Soumya, so why don't you start telling a little bit about your YouTube journey? How did you start with it, and how did you grow your audience base to such a amazing number?
So yeah, basically I'm an engineer. So like a very cliche story. I quit my job and then start this whole journey. So basically, I was in my last year of college. So then I was placed in HPE Bangalore. Okay, so I was placed, and but I always had this thing to start something of my own, and fitness was always a passion. And after like being into fitness for so long, being doing these exercises, and for myself, I love fitness for myself, right? So for that, I decided, why not do something in this genre as well. I had 6 months. Okay, after 6 months I had to join. For those 6 months, I had some time to explore this field as well. So I went for some certifications, I went for like particular training, everything, and then I started my own academy in Jaipur, Rajasthan itself. And I gave myself a target that if that academy has students like 400 students, I won't join, because I took a very like, yeah, I I took a very calculated risk. If there'll be like 400 students in my class, I won't go. And thankfully, at the time of my joining, the students were there, and I had a good number of students, and I had one more branch in Jaipur itself. And then I start, but I had a my class were limited, right? So I had to grow bigger and you picture, knowing about it more and more. And then, YouTube started for me in 2018. And then it took me 2 years, and still I'm working every day. And for me, it was always research, lot of research. It was never like I just got into this and I didn't knew about it. I was always did a lot of research before entering into this field. I will reach this target. So plan was there every time. So it was like not a magic for me at all. Constant hard work every day, and still obviously going again every day.
Awesome. So, Garima, please tell me about your journey. How did you turn to fitness? Why the interest in yoga, and how did you go deep into it?
Right. So most of the people don't know that my mainstream profession was of an image consultant. I was transforming lives. I was giving end-to-end solutions to corporates, individuals, and a lot of stuff was happening on the exterior plane. But then still there was something amiss. I felt that even myself. There was something that I was looking for, where I can find my comfort place, I can find solace, and something which really empowers me on an emotional plane and not just merely on a physical plane. So, exterior self was something, but uh, I think I would say my channels right now are a true representation of who I really am. That's how the incubation also was. For instance, I was making a dosa in my kitchen and I was doing a story. People would ping me and ask me that what is the recipe of your batter that you eat at home. If I'm doing a yoga asana, people would want to know in depth. They would want more insights on how, what is the right alignment for it, what are the benefits. So everything is an outcome of what my really real self is. And I thought that if this is bringing joy into people's lives and is able to transform and touch other people's lives, so why not make it into a consolidated park it in a place where it is really able to deliver some value proposition to people. And that's how the inception of this whole thing was. And then there was no looking back. I was posting my pictures, and before I knew, I was already face of the brand for the leading media platform in the country, and I was the brand ambassador for the health and wellness channel. I remember we started the channel from the scratch, and there were like millions of followers, and on the YouTube, it was only growing and growing. And that's when I was like, I have to do more, and I'm always not complacent at something, so I wanted to do more, and I started my own channel on Instagram. I started posting regular tutorials, and every day when you wake up, you get these testimonials, you get comments, you get saves, you get likes, and that's how this is my story in a nutshell. This is how I started it, only for people by the people.
That's good to hear. Garima, how did yoga impact your personal life? And also, how are you coping? How did it help you through these tough COVID times?
Yes, the whole communication has now transcended during the COVID time, and people realize that only the realization about yoga, the sacred practice of yoga, the pranayama practices came in about with the word immunity. Now everybody is like, we need to strengthen our defense mechanism, the immunity has to be boosted, and that's when they realized that yoga can fill in that power. Most of the people were into fitness, but then the wellness aspect of it, the holistic side of it, they weren't aware that it's not just on a physical plane, but there are so many other ramifications of this practice. For instance, it is the most liberating feeling in the world when you are empowered to take care of your own self emotionally. If you're down, we all have down days, we feel demotivated, but to be able to tell yourself it's okay, it's just a phase, let me get going. That is what is the key thing that yoga has given me. It's like my own weapon. Whenever I need it, I have it with me. And second is like comfort of home. You don't really need any expensive gym membership, club membership, or you don't need to travel a distance to go to any place. It's just a mat and you by yourself, and obviously the right guidance from an expert. Not just physical benefits, but yes, it helps you stay strong internally, strengthens your immunity. And if I go to the benefits, what it does on physical plane, there's so much. You look younger. You can cut down straight 10 years from your age. Your hair is nicer. Your digestion, Ayurveda says that you are not what you eat. No matter what you eat, if you're not able to digest it, it's not going to work for you. So it really boosts up your metabolism. Your digestion is stronger, and your sleep pattern, which has become very erratic for people, especially during the lockdown. So they have very fractured sleep, so that gets streamlined. There's so many benefits, and not just one, that yoga has given me, and I have been lucky enough to pass it on to more and more people, especially during the lockdown.
Awesome. So, Samya, this is a question to you. So, when it comes to fitness, the spectrum is very, very wide. So in all this, how did you find your niche, and how did you go about that niche and expand your creator entrepreneurial business?
So yes, honestly, when for me, fitness is a very enjoyable process, and when I deliver this to my students or my clients, it's always about enjoyment. So it's like, be it yoga, be it Zumba, be it dance workout, be anything you do, you should invest some time out of your life to do something that you really enjoy and becomes a part of your life. So this, when you talk about the spectrum and when you talk about the niche, I never consider fitness as a very wide spectrum. For me, it's an enjoyable process, and with this thing in mind, I was able to cater and deliver to my audience or my clients or my students that it is an enjoyable process, no matter what kind of fitness that you enjoy, be it yoga, dance workout, Zumba, HIIT, anything that you do, but you have to do it and make it a part of your life, and do it when you feel like doing it, and make it as easy, as enjoyable as possible, so that you can have a longer life goals, and it is sustainable for you. So this is how I think my audience find it relatable. This is how they are getting results, and this is how they find it easy and enjoyable. So that's how they find it, like they connect with it.
Okay. So in fact, I have to personally tell my own observation about Soumya, your app, right? The first time, the aha moment for me. So, in MBA, we would have learned about, segmentation, targeting, positioning, and everything, right? But, when I looked at your app, when I saw the course that you made for the hostel girls,
Yeah.
that was an aha moment. Now, how did you find a niche there, of hostel girls, having a particular problem of not getting the proper diet and going after it? And I believe that's one of your popular programs, isn't it?
Yeah. So actually, so basically, being in this field, you get so many comments, you get so many messages, and I have so many friends who live in hostels. Okay, so the only problem they had was like, we get limited food, we have this and this diet, we go to mess and like this, and we cannot maintain our journeys, and what to do. And this hostel thing, they cannot cook, they don't have time, they have very busy schedules. Keeping all this thing in mind, I had this thing in mind, that there are so many girls out there who are in this category or in this niche, who look forward to diet plans, who look forward to meal plans, which are easy to follow, which are easily available in mess, that they're not have to be considered about making, or thinking about we are missing home based food and like that. So I made sure that I cater to that particular audience, and I made sure that these audience, being at their hostel itself, are getting all the food from their mess, and still they can manage their meal plans, they can manage their exercises, their busy schedules, everything. So keeping those people in mind, my friends, my clients, my students. So I had this thing, by reading their comments, I come to know that there are so many people out there who want this.
Yeah. And personally, like I said, so I read about some of the comments that come from from your customers, saying, so Soumya Didi, so help us with this, Soumya Didi, help us with that, and that's amazing, to see how you have been inspiring a lot of women to go on the fitness path.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's like it is a constant effort from me, with like my team, me, and the students itself. They work hard every day. I am just guiding them. If they don't want to do it, they won't do it. So they are doing it regularly. That's important, and I think I'm grateful.
Yeah. So Garima, how about you? So how do you try to find your niche customer segment, and how do you go after it?
First of all, commendable work. I mean, diet plan in mess is something that I've never even heard of. So bravo to that. That's like really wonderful. Yeah, coming back to me. So my segment is more of mothers, and I had a lot of interaction on social media with mothers who kind of lost their identity. I have been through that process myself of identity crisis postpartum, and that's when you're really tormented emotionally and physically. You're not happy because of the way you look. You've always gained so much weight, and then you have sleepless nights. So everything is just haywire, and then on top of it, you have to take care of everybody else. You have to manage home. If you're working, you have to manage work. So there's so many things that women juggle as new mothers, and so that's all how it started. So when I looked at myself, I found myself as a single parent of two very young kids. The younger one was still lactating. He was on my breastfeed, and I had to start from scratch, new city, everything I had to start. So I saw myself being, the breadwinner, also managing kids, also managing home, their schooling, finances. And also at the same time, for me, physical fitness was always of utmost importance. So I was like, when I can do this, so why not take this opportunity to inspire, even if it is 10 more mothers. I was not looking at numbers. I was just looking at, अगर मुझे देख के 10 लोग और inspire होते हैं, so why not? let me just go out there. Biggest problem for me that I was a very big social media pariah. I did not even have an Instagram account till like 2014 or 15 maybe. So for me to go out there and really, talk about everything about my life, be it beauty, fashion, home remedies, my healthy recipes, my parenting, I had to like really struggle. But once I was there and I was getting the validation and reciprocation from others. They wanted to know more. They sent me questions. They sent me DMs. They personally opened up to me about their life. So there was this strong connect, and I was like, no, this is it. This is my, as you say, aha moment. So this is it. I have to do it. And then there was no looking back. And ever since then, I've built a very big community of mothers who are always in touch with me, not just for their physical queries, yoga related queries, but also about their personal problems. They really confide in me. They talk to me. And for me, social media is the biggest tool, I would say, to support, lift, empower, and grow together as a community. So that's how that is what I would say is my niche.
Amazing,
Great,
amazing.
great.
So, Garima, you talked about being a single mompreneur, if I have to use the word. So, which means there is a lot of multitasking involved. So, you are a beauty consultant. So you are a mom for 2 kids, and you're also a fitness person. So, how do you do this multitasking? How do you prioritize? And more importantly, how do you keep yourself motivated?
Motivation comes, a lot from my kids also, because they are the ones every day you wake up and you look at them because they look up to you. So you're always leading by example, and then like you have so many people every day who text you and who are reposing so much faith in what you do. So that is really my motivation. I'm truly very grateful to so many people, and also when I look back from where I've come, I really come from a place where I felt so little of myself, and I started to believe what others thinking and mindset of me was, literally. So, and then when I changed my entire ecosystem and I started getting appreciation for what I can really be. So that is my motivation. I feel that is the biggest change I see, that I had to just come out of my comfort zone. That's what I tell people, that this entire metamorphosis process is where you really you feel that you are that ugly caterpillar, but you can be a beautiful butterfly if you have that trust in yourself and you just walk out of that. You have to undergo that procedure first. You have to hone your skill set. You have to work. You have to give it time. You have tons of energy, effort goes, as Soumya was saying initially. It is like sometimes 24 hours or even less. You have to compromise on your friends, social life, so many things. Yes, but single parenting, I'm donning many hats. I'm always juggling. I'm a one-man army, I would say, one-woman army, I should say. But yes, I'm always motivated with all the kind of lovely feedback I get for my work. And that's what keeps me going.
Great. So, Soumya, so talking from a mompreneur to homepreneurs, so we see that a lot of housewives also are quite talented, fitness enthusiasts, or are aspiring fitness trainers. So for these people for these ladies who are confined to their house and have so many constraints, even if they're not constrained. So there is a lot of pressure from their family. Why do you want to do this? You can just have just a normal routine life of getting married, having kids, and just be happy, or just do your job. So for these kind of people who want to become entrepreneurs, what is your advice? Where should they start to first shrug off that kind of fear?
Yeah, I
And
get this question a lot of times. Yeah, I get this question a lot of times. Firstly, for Garima, I think hats off. I get really inspired
Thank
by,
you.
no, I get really inspired by hardworking people, and I think you are really very hardworking. Multitasking is very difficult. I understand that. Now, whenever the question has been asked to me, like how to convince your family, how to convince the society of not going the regular way, I have been through this situation. But honestly, I believe when you are firstly confident about what you are going to do and you research about it, you research, you gather the important skills around it, if you and you know where you want to be, and if you are clear in your mind, once you're clear in your mind, you will be able to convince the other person out there. Okay, for example, if a girl wants to become an entrepreneur and she or she wants to convince his parents or her parents, then firstly she has to be clear in her mind, clear about what she wants to do, where she wants to see herself after 5 years, and give them a clear picture that this is what I want to do. Once she is convinced, she will be able to convince that other person as well. So I believe for me, when I told my parents that I want to do this, firstly they were really supportive. Secondly, they were supportive not just because I was taking some risk. They were supportive because I told them this is what I'm going to do. This is my number right now. This is where I will reach after 2 years. This is what I'm going to do. I gave them a complete plan, a picture, gave them the complete understanding. And when they saw that she's so much interested in this, she's so much into this, she researched about this so much, that means she is going to do something out of it. So they believed me, they trusted me. And so I believe that you have to work on yourself, on your skills and the research part, and be clear in your mind what you want to do, and then everything will follow.
Yeah. I'm sure, Soumya, so the kind of energy with which you are saying this, right? When you said this to your dad and your mom, how can they deny you of such an opportunity? So your energy is so amazing. Nobody can say no to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, so basically I convinced them with this kind of energy and made them understand that what I want to do and where I will be in next 2 years, and what I want, made them think, because they were obviously new to this. And then they agreed, and this is, I think, every girl should go about. I know that it's very easier said than done, but definitely once you try and go for it, you can do it.
And again, so for all the womenpreneurs in the discussion forum, you can definitely reach out to Soumya, the Glow Girl Tales, and Garima Bhandari official for advice. And so they, I think I'm sure. No, I'm taking this liberty and just giving out your handles. You can reach out to them.
Absolutely, please do.
If you get stuck in your journeys. So coming back to the fitness world, how it is shaping up, right? So do you see things changing in the online fitness social media world? Given that now there is no production support, no outdoor shoots, nothing. So Garima, what do you think? How is it shaping up, or how did you mold yourself to this constraint?
Honestly, for me, nothing much really changed because I was anyway hosting my classes from home always. So I did not have any brick and mortar structure before, but now the global communication has become digitalized now. So we can see so much happening in form of webinars, live stream classes. There's so many health applications. So there is a huge transition, which is this shift from this unprecedented shutdown of the gyms, etc., where people are now able to realize that yes, they can take out time from their busy schedule, even in the comfort of their home, and also explore new avenues which give them leeway of more privacy and also time, whenever they would want to shell out the time. So this is changing, and then I see so much intervention from the central government also, like I was recently part of the Digital Yoga Conclave, which was held for the first time online. And that's where all the ministers were talking about introducing new form of hashtags, new form of challenges where people can sign up for so many free classes just to get the gist of it. And maybe even if there are 100 people who try it, maybe 10 of them actually convert. And PM Modi in his recent speech also mentioned about how he is so proactive in yoga practice, and he also launched the yoga from home hashtag for everybody to pose with their pictures, and it became viral. So I think these are little initiatives we as influencers also can start. I started my yoga challenges during the lockdown initial, and there was massive sharing of those challenges. Even little tiny kids to even old women, I have their videos who participated, and that is so heartwarming that people are coming online and watching all this happening around them, and also getting proactive in the form of new form of online classes and trainings.
Nice, nice. So,
Amazing.
question to you, Soumya. For somebody who wants to become a fitness influencer, YouTuber, or Instagrammer, what are the necessary skills that they should have? And the second thing is, for both of you, is having the certification mandatory of sorts?
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, basically, first thing is to gather your own skills. So it is the primary importance. You are catering to so many people. You are responsible when you are famous, or when you are when you're talking to so many people and we are teaching them, or we are providing them some kind of education. It's important that you owe some responsibility, right? So at that particular time, you should go with proper certification. There should be proper knowledge, and knowledge never, learning never stops, obviously, but the basic important knowledge is really very important to get into this field, because fitness is all about body science, and it's all about understanding one's complete anatomy and internal and external structures and everything out there. So it's important that you firstly gather that important knowledge. Secondly, being a fitness influencer, it's very important to be honest, because honesty, I think, is really very important. Because when you are I have my academies, when I talk to those people, they have a trust on me because they see me live, right? But when it comes to internet, when they are not able to see me, they are able to see me just virtually. They are not getting that physical touch. It's very difficult to make them understand that yes, I am trustworthy like a person, and so I have to be very honest. I have to be very real in what I deliver. That is really important if you want to grow and go a long way ahead, I believe.
Right. Great. Thanks, Soumya. Garima, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I totally second what Soumya said, that it is your skill set that you're presenting, and a lot of people are trusting on you because they follow you, so they really want something which is authentic and real. And also this online shift has also led to the flip side of it, which is like people have done some online courses. I don't know about others, but I see so many people who do this 15-day, 20-day yoga course, and they call themselves as trainers. It is a 5,000-year-old science. Till date, I call myself a student because I'm a student for life. It is a legacy which is passed on to you. So how can you? Because there's so much alignment breakup, and if you don't teach anybody right, if you don't guide and mentor anybody right, it can have long-term repercussions and injuries. So it is something that can lead to fatal consequences. Something as small as right breathing. If you don't have the knowledge of right breathing, you cannot teach yoga. And it takes 15 months to master that art of breathing. So how can you be a teacher in 15 days? So people have to be very wary of who they choose, and eventually it is your skill set and your core competency that will speak for itself.
Right. So apart from the technical skills, what other things that people should start building like communication skills and all that? Can you just throw some light to, I mean, specifically becoming, so going in front of the camera and looking great as a fitness influencer? Samya, to
So
you.
for me, so it's like, yeah, I try to do that, but I am very bad at like, looking good in front of camera. I just try. I don't like, I don't know how to do makeup and stuff. I just do a little bit of like with my, little bit of my team helps me out with that, but I am very bad with that. So I just post like with a sweaty selfie and I just do that. I see, honestly, Subhash, I am really very, I can tell you, I am just what I am right now. I can just portray that on Instagram or on YouTube. I don't take even, I try, but I am not able to do that. I do not think the vanity point of view, I am not able to keep up with that. But rest, I try, like I am good with the knowledge that I have to showcase. I'm good with the content, but I am not good with the presentation. But I'm trying my best. So I cannot guide. Garima would be in better position to guide because she is like beautiful, yeah, terrific in
Thank
the
you.
personality.
Thank you, Soumya. I feel that when you are a fitness influencer and you post in sweat pictures, that is the best and the most appropriate thing to do. Unless you are a makeup or a beauty influencer, so your genre becomes different. So appearance, behavior, communication is very important in your digital footprint, and these ABCD kind of amalgam very beautifully in a digital forum. But yes, being appropriate is also what is important. So if I'm doing a yoga session and I'm taking a yoga class, so I will definitely be sweaty and I will definitely be in yoga clothes and yoga pants. But if I'm in a webinar or if I am a panelist somewhere, so my role, goal, profession, communication, everything changes accordingly. So I feel that appearance plays part only basis your where you are and being appropriate for that particular occasion and what you are representing. Otherwise, it's totally fine what you are and who you are.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. So, again, going with the presentation part of it, right? So, in my life, so I've seen instructors. So some of them, fitness is all about discipline, right? And
Yes,
then so
time
you have
management.
some instructors who are like military officers, nothing doing, so they will be very rough on the edges, but they will deliver results. But then, so there are folks, so who have got a sweet way of doing it. So what do you think is a good way, especially in the online world? Online world, things might, the communication is just verbal. So there is no body language that comes out and all that. So what kind of path should the trainers take, and what are the things that they should be careful about?
I think that communication is something that the minute person sees you, you're already communicating. So it is a lot of visual also that is involved, and definitely kind of body language, especially when it comes to physical fitness, yoga, fitness kind of a lesson. There is haptics, programmatics, kinesics, everything is moving, your hands are moving. And world over now, the global communication is more become parallel structure. There is nothing called hierarchical structure that if I'm a trainer, I'm better than you. If you're my student, you're lesser. So that has to diminish. That kind of a mindset has to diminish. Everybody is equal. We are all here, as Soumya was saying, we are all here to learn from each other. Every day there's a learning. I'm learning from my kids so many things every day. Half of the technology has been taught to me by them. So we are always learning new things, and we have to be receptive and open from the mind to new ideas, knowledge, wisdom. But if we are like fixated with our opinion and nose up in the air, then that there is something amiss. It's going to be repelling for the people. But you want something about your personality to be attractive, where people get attracted to you. Maybe the way you talk to them, maybe the way they want to trust in you. So this profession is all about trust. Social media is all about trust. People will follow you. You will have a subscriber subscriber base, follower base only when they have trust in you, and that can be established with the right kind of what you communicate through your body language, the way you talk, to your clients, to your followers is very, very important. I feel you have to be really warm, you have to be approachable, you cannot be authoritative and assertive here. You have to be at ground level zero with them.
Yeah. So, somewhere, so I know that you have derived some really great results for your customers. I've seen, those comments myself. How did you get the best out of your clients or customers?
So, so coming back to your question, with being lenient and with being disciplined, and then for me, it's a balance. For me, there is a balance. I believe that when you feel that's easy to follow, it is followable for a longer period of time. Like, for example, if I'm not a morning person and I force you to get up every morning to do a particular exercise, you won't do it. You will try to do it for 2 to 3 days and then you won't do it. So what I prefer is, be it morning or evening, I focus on consistency. I always focus on consistency, and for me, that's more important. So I believe that, as I said earlier as well, that making a process that's enjoyable, making a process that's easy to follow, it really helps people to get the results, because this is how they are able to do it for longer time, and hence getting good results. For my programs also, if you see, I make sure that, like, if I have a 120-day challenge, so every day there would be a different kind of workouts, focusing and targeting different muscle groups of your body and making sure that people enjoy it. So there would be dance, Zumba workout also, there would be some HIIT workout also. So there is a combination of exercises, making sure that people love it while they're doing it. Because I know I come from that school where I get easily bored. I get easily bored with the monotony. So I don't want them to, get bored and, get out of this journey. I want them to love the fitness journey, and I want them to love that particular hour when they are doing it for themselves.
Right. And so to both of you again, so how do you make your community, how do you build your community and make that community interactive? Like, what kind of things, activities that you do, to start with, Soumya, if you want to take it?
So for me, I have so many with different kinds of fitness workouts that are live, and sometimes I make sure that I organize these kinds of up wherein I get to connect with them as more as possible, so that they also stay motivated, and I also get like motivation.
So Garima, how do you engage your community?
For me, it's simple. I'm also here, like Soumya, to bring joy into others' lives. That's the whole idea of fitness people and wellness people. That, with my raw, unfiltered, real-time content is what I do, because somebody says that teach us how you put eyeliner. So I'll do that. Somebody says that, we want to see what you eat in a day. So I'll do that. It's basis everyone's request, and being out there, because when I started, I realized that I did not have any support system. Not even one person came forward to support me. So anybody who comes, can you please give us a shout out, and I really want my post to reach a certain goal, etc. So I find it so ridiculous not to, because if somebody wants such a minuscule favor from you, so why not? So I'm all out there, basis what people follow me for. I'm out always there to make relatable content which they can have something as a takeaway from, even if it is a 30-second reel, so something that can entertain them or make them laugh or make them learn something, some new skill which I feel I have, and can make somebody so many times I wake up to messages like, your reels are very inspiring to us. There's so many mothers who did not know how to edit a reel. So I have told them that, I will make a reel with you. or you make a video, send it to me, I will edit to you and send it back to you. Despite my busy packed schedule, I still feel that, if somebody is reaching out for a small help, because there are a lot of mothers who also messaged me that we read so many famous bloggers post where they have spoken about, why do you keep sending us DMs? We don't need it. We are so busy. Please don't spam our feed, etc., etc. And there was a blogger who sent me a voice, mom blogger who was starting out, and she sent me a voice message where she was actually crying in tears. So this is the kind of impact social media has. Good or bad is up to you to choose what you want to impact people for. So she reached out to me that I'm so heartbroken, I'm just starting out, and I sent this message to this mom blogger, and she wrote this whole huge post about spamming her feed. So I think if you all are in a position to help others, it is a very little thing people are asking you. If each one does this, it will be a better place instead of seeing each other as a competition or anything else.
Yeah. So, Garima, I think I'll take a little bit of liberty of asking. So, if you can do a session, we will host you again sometime in December. If you can do a session on making these reels and all that, for future aspiring fitness influencers.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
We'd love to
That
have
would be
you
great.
back with us.
That would be great.
Right. So a couple of questions that are coming
Yes.
in. So Shefali is asking, so this is a health related question. Can you please guide us more on best food diet for gut health? So who wants to take this?
Sorry, what's the question?
Can you please guide us more on the best food diet for gut health?
Okay, so if I have to answer this, see, I'm not a nutritionist or a dietitian, or I don't give diet plans. I assist people. I have a team who does that. But if you have to ask me, what has really worked for me is something which is sustainable, which you have eaten from the start, and you can eat and follow the same pattern for a lifetime, not a short-term new kind of a diet fad, which I have never tried, and it doesn't work for people whoever I've met in my lifetime, because they shed weight for a wedding or a party or an occasion, and then they're back to their, so it's a lifestyle tweak, a lifestyle regime that you have to follow. It's not something which is short-term fad. So whatever you start with, please be mindful that you have to do it for a lifetime. Secondly, anything which is home cooked, anything which is wholesome, seasonal fruits, vegetables always work for me. Keep your evening meal right. Don't eat anything white. It is not right. After 6 p.m. in the evening, I eat my dinner by 5:30 p.m., but I'm not saying you have to do that. But if you eat your dinner late, please make sure you cut down your carbs after 6 p.m. Don't have your carbs after 6 p.m. And yeah, just hydrate yourself. Drink 3 to 4 liters of water so that all the toxins are flushed out from your body in the most organic way. And Soumya can add to all this because she's an expert in this.
Sorry, actually, my net was not working, so I didn't get your question.
So the question was about best food diet for gut health.
Okay, so yeah, so for sure, for gut health and gut bacteria, there's a lot of probiotics that comes into play. So when you focus on more probiotics, like having more curd or going for some vitamin C rich food like oranges and things like papaya, that really boost healthy gut bacteria. And I feel like I am right now teaching and talking to my students. A video.
No, which is good, because this is a very important topic. Half the time people are just not eating right and they're just exercising, and then don't get results, and then they complain.
Yeah, it's always about 60-40 and 70-30 thing. It's more about diet, and it's important to eat healthy and clean.
Yeah. So there was a question from Bhavana Gupta. I think we covered it a little bit. She was asking, do you recommend any certifications? Soumya has spoken about it at length. Even Garima has spoken about it. So the answer is yes. More information you have their Instagram handles.
Yeah, for sure. We'll make separate videos for what kind of
Connect
certification.
with us.
So,
Yeah.
so Garima, a question to you. So I see that a lot of fitness instructors these days are going after Yoga Alliance certifications and all that. So, does it make sense to go after US certification or India certification? Is there a difference?
Yes, US Alliance is a yes. Sorry, you were
Yoga
saying
Alliance.
something. Did I interrupt you?
No, 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 no.
Okay. Yeah, Yoga Alliance is a wonderful association, which is kind of an accreditation for, worldwide trainers, I would say, who would want to be part of um who would want to be recognized as a certified yoga trainer, I would say. But see, again, I'll come back to my rendezvous. I come from a school of Ashtanga Yoga family where Krishnamacharya was the first preacher who started this practice of yoga, and he gave it to his two students. This Vidya, this parampara was transferred to his two students called Patabi Joy and the other one's name is on top of my mind, I'm forgetting. So Mr. Patabi Joy started this, he is the Param Guru of Ashtanga Yoga, and he started this practice and he gave the lineage to his grandson, Sharad Joy. Now, I know students from all across the world who have been visiting the Sharad Joy Center in Mysore for almost 30 to 35 years. And they are perhaps in a position where they are even better than their guru. But every year, out of respect, they come just to learn something new every time, and they don't want to call themselves as certified or authorized or all these things, but they have a stupendous name in the industry. Everybody knows their worth, their skill set. So I think when you know your job and people are able to learn something out of it with your experience, that is your real-time certificate. But you have to, it is investive of time, it is investive of efforts. Those are the people who leave their full-time jobs, who leave their family and take out time to travel to India, stay for 2 months. I am amazed at the knowledge. They speak fluent Sanskrit. They have done PhDs in yoga. Some of them have written amazing books. This is the kind of knowledge that they have to call themselves as certified and authorized. So I think it's all about honing your skills every day. Just keep learning and keep going.
Yeah.
So, we are constrained for time, so I have an operational issue, so I have to step into another session. But one last question, parting thoughts. 2021, hopefully very soon, we are going to come out of COVID. I really wish and pray that so that will happen very soon. So, as we are looking into 2021, how do you see the fitness world shaping up, and how do you want to prepare yourself to this new paradigm shift? So, Soumya, you want to go ahead?
For me, like pre-COVID or post-COVID, things are, kind of similar, like as with Garima as well. But coming to like fitness should always be a priority. COVID just gave us a reality check, like why it is so much important. I always say, you better take care of yourself now, or when you see people in hospitals, you feel like this is not a terrible situation that you want to go in. So I believe this is the time when we are realizing the importance of health right now. So I believe in post-COVID situation, people would be more attracted towards fitness, towards health, and towards health making it as their life priority. And I believe that should happen. And I pray for that people give utmost importance to their health and fitness and focus on lifestyle that's healthy, because at the end of the day, if you're not healthy, you cannot be happy.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Garima. What are your
Yeah, I would just like to say that, COVID has taught us that so many layoffs are happening across the world. People are so much under stress of what if COVID happens to me? What if I lose a family member? What if I lose my job? There's so many things that people are struggling inside, not just, emotionally, but mentally also. So stress is on all-time high, and yoga, pranayama, and other fitness practices, whatever works for you, as Soumya was saying, whatever gives you joy, choose one of those lines, and that can really independently mediate the adverse effects of stress. That is your biggest coping mechanism against all that causes and induces stress, because it removes the cortisol from your body, and it makes you feel good about yourself. And when you feel good about yourself, you manifest the same energy to others throughout the day. You understand that everything in life that happens is temporary. It's not forever. It's not permanent. So you are able to cope up with that stress, because right now you have limited access to doctors or practitioners who can assist you and guide you. So you have to be your own Suraksha Kavach. And any kind of good fitness form can give you that healing balm, that Suraksha Kavach, to cope up with the unprecedented strange times.
great,
Very
great
important.
thoughts. Thank you so much. You both have been wonderful guests, and to all the audience, thanks for all your participation. So again,
Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much.
having us for this wonderful
Thank you so
interaction. Soumya, it was very nice meeting you. So was with you, Subhash,
Same
for this
here.
wonderful
it was
forum.
my pleasure. For anybody who wants to become a fitness entrepreneur, especially in the online world, check us out at Creator OS. We have helped many fitness entrepreneurs successfully launch their online fitness studios, and we are very honored to have Soumya as one such successful client for us, creator for us.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
with this, we will end the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
you.
everyone. Thank you for joining in.
Thank you for everyone to be here. Thank you so much.
Bye.